All right, guys, here's the tea. Wall Street, Main Street, and Pennsylvania Avenue are clashing. And here's the market report that you're not going to want to miss because it's a whole bunch of tea about what's happening. All right, guys, as promised, here's the tea about what's happening right now in the real estate industry and also in the country. Well, right now, Donald Trump and Jerome Powell are going head to head right now on what is breaking down to be one of the biggest shakeups and political clashes in history. Now, why is this so important? Well, a couple of reasons. In the past market reports that you've seen, and again, if you haven't taken a chance, subscribe to this channel right now to get all great real estate news if you're a real estate agent or if you're a home buyer or seller. Here's what's happening. The real estate market is all watching Donald Trump and Jerome Powell just duke it out. Here's why. Jerome Powell is saying that the interest rates need to remain at their current levels, while Donald Trump is doing everything he can, including taking to social media to try to get Jerome Powell to drop those interest rates. Now, what's his aim? His aim is to refinance the U.S. debt, because if he can refinance that debt and we can pay less on it, now all of a sudden the economy is going to look even better. But here's the problem. Jerome Powell has been watching a very data-driven approach to the labor stats, unemployment, PCE, CPI, all of these to see if it warrants a drop in the rates, and he hasn't seen that yet. Now, here's something that you need to pay attention to. Fed independence. Fed independence is one of the biggest things that the entire world is watching, and this is where Main Street, Wall Street, and Pennsylvania Avenue all come together. If America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, and everyone is watching what's happening to bonds in the United States. Now, here's what could really go wrong if Donald Trump gets his way. If Donald Trump gets his way, it's possible that Jerome Powell in the spring of 2026 gets booted and rates drop. And he wants to drop rates as low, it's been said, as low as 1%. Now, here's what could happen if he gets his way. Number one, yes, those short-term interest rates that you see on credit cards, auto loans, etc. could drop, which would be fantastic for a lot of people. But here's what also could happen. Number one, yes, we want those mortgage interest rates to drop in the world of real estate, but the bond market that controls so much of what happens in the world could also get out of control. Here's why. The Federal Reserve, which basically has two initiatives to make sure they have price stability and maximum employment, are trying to ensure that they don't step out of bounds and they just focus on the data. Here's what's the problem with all of this. If Donald Trump continues to get involved and influence the Fed, now all of a sudden, as much as he might get his way and we might be able to refinance our debt, or we might get mortgage rates lower, we could do all of those things, it could seriously backfire. And here's why. The idea that the Fed operates with independence allows investors around the world who are buying American bonds to have security to continue to invest. And if they don't continue to invest, that can be a bad thing for us, and it could cause interest rates to actually do the opposite, backfire, and start to skyrocket. The confidence of the Fed's independence is paramount to so many investors around the world. They want to make sure that if they're investing in the United States and in the interest rates that end up happening and getting set by the Fed, that they're not being affected by an outside force. Why? Because that outside force can change one day, say one thing one day, and one day it's different. If they focus on the data, then that's key. Well, here's another bit of drama that ended up showing up in the real estate world. Well, the labor statistics, which came out just recently over in May and in June, were recently revised by over 250,000 jobs. Where it was previously showing as a much stronger economy, now looks to appear to be a weaker economy. And this is where the data that Jerome Powell has been holding on to for so long all of a sudden showed in the opposite direction, where he said we don't need to drop rates, the economy's strong, now shows that we've got a really weak labor market. Remember those two things that the Fed wants, price stability and maximum employment. Now they have reason to drop those rates. So it looks like Donald Trump is trying to get those rates lower, might actually get his way. And here's why that could affect you if you're looking to buy or sell a house in September or later of this year. Number one, it was previously said that there were not going to be any rate cuts throughout 2026, but now we're looking at nearly up to 3 rate cuts, which could be predicted. Why? We now have the data. Jerome Powell and Donald Trump can finally agree we need to drop the rates. Now, whether those rate cuts are going to come soon enough or they should have been done earlier, that's up for us to see. But I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Do you think dropping interest rates as low as 1% is going to be good? Do you think Donald Trump or any presidents in involvement in the Fed is actually a good thing, or could it backfire? I'd love to see, fire off in the chat what you think is going to happen early spring 2026. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you've been tuning into our programs and you see our market reports, whether you're looking to sell your house in the next 6 to 8 months, or you've thought for yourself, you know what, I need to find a house, it's better to be educated than not be educated. That's why we do these videos here. If you haven't reached out for a recent update, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with the latest loan programs, things that could make your life a lot easier, especially like down payment assistance programs that are out there, why don't you get in the know? Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, or even better yet, reach out. Whether this market update comes to you in an email, or you've seen it on YouTube or one of the other social platforms out there, please feel free to reach out to get involved sooner. And if you're a real estate agent and you've also been wondering, how do I explain things that are happening like this in the market to my clients, go ahead and reach out below. We've got a program to connect you with as well.